Someone save me!
Oh, what was I laughing at now? Oh, yes.
Please, don't hurt me!
It's astonishing to see so many people shill for a game like Ghosts of Yotei, or rather, Ghosts of Antifa. This game does nothing new whatsoever. In fact, this game along with The Last of Us 2 and God of War Ragnarok all look like they were made by the same developer. Yet there's no shortage of shills doing their damnedest to convince you that Yotei is a must-play. While this type of buffoonery is not surprising, it is rather sad, because this shameful display of dick-sucking for Ghosts of Antifa really illustrates how far gaming has fallen, and how a certain group of gamers are aiding in further destroying gaming. The people over at Sucker Punch that made Ghost of Tsushima must be on a leave of absence, or have gone full retard. They made a new IP that was widely praised, though for me, I found it to be boring personally, also formulaic, and definitely had some wokeness in it. But regardless, Sucker Punch built good faith with Ghost of Tsushima. Fast forward to now, and well, the same can't be said for Yotei. I mean, from the start, the reveal trailer told me all I needed to know about the game. There was no need for a wait-and-see approach because developers have pulled this shit for years. And if any of you couldn't see it from the first trailer, then you clearly haven't been paying attention. The motives from Sucker Punch was made apparent. Ghosts of Yotei was to make Atsu the new face of the franchise. This is what these developers do. The Last of Us did it in its sequel, and Spider-Man 2 did it as well. But there were several other things that made Ghosts of Yotei such a controversial game before release, and I'll go over it to remind the dumb fucks that still insist on chilling and making excuses for the slop. Sucker Punch deliberately hired Erika Ishii to play Atsu. They could have went with Atsu's Japanese voice actress or someone else, but instead went with Erika because she shares the same far-left ideologies as Sucker Punch. It was obvious by some of the devs' bios on X, and further proof being the now former dev at Sucker Punch had mocked the death of Charlie Kirk in a post on Blue Sky, where a few developers from Sucker Punch liked the post. Then there's Erika Ishii, an outspoken radical far-left activist with, according to her, has all the pronouns, and had made a post in 2020 stating that she and her wife are Antifa. Yes, the terrorist organization Antifa. And there's no way that Sucker Punch wasn't aware of any of Erika's posts. Now that we're up to speed, let's get back to the game itself. That's if you can even call it a game. After all, the shills have been mainly posting clips of them staring at mountains in the distance, riding a horse in a large empty field, cutting grass, and the most impressive feat of all, cooking fish.
The shock of that just knocked me out of my seat.
I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. I mean, I've seen some innovative things in my years of gaming, starting with the Sega Genesis in the 90s, but I never thought I'd see the day that we could cook fish in a game. I swear, you shills treat games like Ghosts of Antifa as if they're artsy-fartsy, hidden gem, obscure, AA or indie games. The way you cocksuckers hype up anything and act like any of this shit is groundbreaking is pathetic. I'll get back to the shills later, specifically the faggot synth potato. But for now, there's the matter of what makes Ghosts of Antifa woke. Since a bunch of morons kept pushing the narrative that the actions of the voice actress will have no influence on the game, or that Sucker Punch hired Erika for genuine reasons. You don't have to waste $70 on a slop in order to know that it sucks donkey balls. Just watch streams and reviews and save yourself the time, money, and dignity. Now, as expected, Atsu is a girl boss character that goes through yet another revenge story. She acts cold and aggressive towards men, but warm and kind towards women. There's a moment in the game where she fights a group of men with just her fist. I know, such groundbreaking realism. And there's a side quest about gun control, and she literally howls at grown male warriors, which sends them cowering in fear, begging for mercy. Are you noticing the patterns yet? On top of that, the group that killed her family, or the Yotei 6, one of them disbanded from the group, a female to be exact, named Aoki. Atsu forgives her and they become quote-unquote friends, while on the other hand, Atsu kills the remaining members of the group, who all just so happen to be men. Later, Atsu reunites with her brother during the story, only for him to die from Lord Saito, the leader of the Yotei 6. Atsu then kills Lord Saito. Afterwards, Atsu and her lesbian lover, Aoki, adopt her brother's daughter, where all three of them live as a family. Doesn't that sound great and not woke at all? Not to mention that Sucker Punch made sure to give Atsu a shaved eyebrow, just like Eric Ishii, making sure to catch every detail possible, yet these developers always have to go out of their way to make pretty actresses look ugly, pretending it's not deliberate. But when they have an ugly bimbo playing a character, they don't make any alterations and make them look like an authentic one-to-one copy. That aspect alone perfectly exemplifies what developers often do to female characters is absolutely deliberate. Now that I mentioned female characters, let me get back to shills such as Synth Potato, who seems to constantly post dumb, disingenuous bullshit on a daily basis. This guy, along with other retarded shills like him, want to paint a false narrative that we don't like playing as female characters and that the characters shown are from some of the greatest games in the decade, when that's the furthest thing from the truth. The games shown are not some of the greatest games in the decade. In fact, within this decade, there has barely been any great games, and the ones shown will be forgotten about in 5 years or less. As for us not liking to play as female characters, well, cuck, the difference between us and guys like you is that we like playing as good female characters, ones that are well written, with cool designs that stand out, accompanied with fun combat and striking level designs, and female characters in games that don't have woke ideological nonsense that ruins the characters and the games as a whole. Guys like Synth Potato, Detective Seeds, Jor Raptor, and MBG accept whatever slop that is given and claim that it's peak or amazing. You guys are what is wrong with modern gaming. You display slave behavior for companies past their prime in an industry stripped of its soul. And here you are, being a good corporate slave by saying, "Oh my god, Ghost of Yotei is a work of art. Imagine not playing this right now because of woke or some other insane reason." Motherfucker losing his shit like he's Joey Styles going, "Oh my god," while playing as a lesbian Antifa Ronin riding a horse in an empty field. Yeah, it's so insane people aren't playing the game. It's a real head scratcher. You know what's insane? People like this, who are shilling for a game starring an Antifa member who openly hates white people and law enforcement. And from developers that like the post from a fellow dev mocking the murder of a political commentator who had civil debates opening doors for discussion. And despite all of that, these clowns still went out and bought the game, displaying no morality or dignity. These individuals have no character and no self-control, and any respect that they lose is well deserved. No wonder journalists are loving this woke slop. Despite IGN surprisingly pointing out the obvious with Sony games having revenge stories, the media will create fake hype along with the shills, another industry plant just like Expedition 33 and Metaphor ReFantazio. Get ready for Yotei to win a ton of fake awards with Death Stranding 2 at Jeff Keighley's Fake Awards show, and watch the usual suspects try to use that as a win, as if it means anything. Award shows, journalist reviews, and Metacritic scores are as believable as the Tooth Fairy. No amount of gaslighting will sway me to play Ghost of Antifa. Maybe the lo-fi beats will persuade Tyrone and LaQuisha, or maybe Synth Potato's amazing gameplay clip of him pelting firebombs at a bear standing stationary from a distance in a pitch black void of an environment will silence the naysayers. We've seen this all before, and it's tiresome. Gaming has barely progressed since 2015. Developers are catering to normies, graphics whores, and far-left activists. This isn't peak gaming, this is peak slop. And the shills are ready for seconds, while the rest of us are still waiting for a real gourmet meal.
Sure, a lot of ugly people in your neighborhood. Oh, look at that one.
Ishii.